Today I'm sewing and sharing another fun, free pattern. This is the Costa bag by Helen's Closet Patterns. This is a roomy, practical bag with 4 spacious pockets and it's completely reversible. I've left a link to the pattern below so you can check out all the details, grab a copy, and sew along with me. So grab that pattern, cut out your fabric, mark your notches, and let's get started. We're going to start by folding and pressing the top slanted edge of the pocket piece. Fold and press the raw edge of the fabric to the wrong side by 1/4 inch, and then you're going to fold it once more to the wrong side by an additional 1 inch all the way across. Once you have those 2 folds in place, the 1/4 inch and the 1 inch, we're going to sew the folded edges in place. The first row of stitching will be along this outer slanted edge, stitching from one end all the way to the other with 1/8 inch seam allowance. You're also going to sew down this inner folded edge with 1/8 inch seam allowance as well. Repeat these steps for the other side of the pocket as well. Now place the wrong side of your pocket with its finished top edges on the right side of your main bag fabric. Pin in place from the top to the bottom of the pocket on both sides. Repeat on the other side of the bag as well. Sew all 4 sides of your pocket to your bag with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now at these cutouts here in the center of the bag, I'm going to draw straight lines to connect both sides so that I have a stitching guide. I'm just using chalk and a ruler. Now that I have these stitching lines in place, I'm going to sew from one side to the other along both lines. Transfer your pocket divider lines to the front of both pockets. Now using those transferred lines as your stitching guide, we're going to sew from the horizontal stitching lines that we just drew straight up along our stitching lines to the tops of the pockets on both sides. Fold your bag in half so that it's right sides together, and pin both of the outer edges. And then sew both outer edges with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And press each of those side seams open. Now we're going to take these corners and manipulate them to create a straight line. Take the fabric on both ends of this inner corner and open them out flat and pin in place. And do that on both sides. Sew straight across both of those short seams with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now take the top raw edges of your bag to your ironing board and fold them to the wrong side by 1 inch and press all the way around. We're going to construct the lining in the same way as we did for the main bag. Fold your lining in half so that it's right sides together, and then sew the outer edges with a 3/8 inch seam allowance and press your seams open. Then we're going to box both of those corners, just as we did for the main bag, sewing those at 3/8 inch as well. And then you can fold and press the top edges of your lining to the inside by 1 inch. With your lining inside out, place it inside your main bag, which is right side out. And then pin those top edges together all the way around. Apply interfacing to the wrong side of both of your strap pieces. And then take your straps to the ironing board and press the long raw edges to the wrong side by 3/8 inch. And do this for each of the long raw edges. And then with each of these edges still tucked under, take your straps back to the ironing board and fold them in half wrong sides together lengthwise. Then we're going to sew along the outer edges of each strap from top to bottom with 1/8 inch seam allowance. Do this for both straps. The top of your main bag pattern piece has dots indicating where our straps are going to be placed. Transfer those markings onto your bag. I've just used pins here. Now we're going to take the short raw edges of our straps, place them in between those strap placement markings. You're going to tuck those raw edges into the bag by about 1 1/4 inches. And then add those straps to the pinning. Do this for all 4 edges of the straps. Now we're going to sew all around the top of the bag with a 1/8 inch seam allowance, catching those straps as we sew. Once you've done that, we're going to do a second row of top stitching. The second row of top stitching will be 3/4 of an inch away from the first row of top stitching, all the way around the bag. And finally, to secure each end of the strap to the bag, you can take it to your sewing machine and sew a square and an X formation over the ends of each strap as far as they're tucked into the bag. Do this for all of the 4 edges of your straps. And now you're all done with your bag. Thank you for watching this sew along. Make sure you check out my other videos for more great sewing inspiration, and I'll see you in the next video.